It's 6:50 in the morning. Oh, no one's gonna die in this recording, by the way. Gotta charge my laptop up. Ooh. But yeah, so it is 6:51 a.m. Eastern Seaboard Time. And this is why Joker FOOLYDEUXLY, I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's fucking Joker 2. This is why Joker 2 is a goddamn masterpiece. So we're watching this person's video. I think, yeah, you can see the name, but it's backwards probably because I think cameras work like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this person's going to tell us why it's bad. And then we're going to hear from me as I decide to why it's good.
There's only so much you can recall and say while sitting in a hot car just baffled out of your mind. It's like it gets worse and worse.
I should probably make it not 2 times speed.
I just wanted to add or clarify some things about Joker 2. There's only so much you can recall and say while sitting in a hot car just baffled out of your mind. It's like it gets worse and worse as you think about it. I almost forgot how absolutely pathetic Arthur was in this, and him being so passive. All the discussions and aftermath is just crazy. I didn't think I'd make another video about this, but I felt compelled to. Turns out I did. Hello there. I just wanted to add or clarify some things about Joker 2. There's only so much you can recall and say while sitting in a hot car just baffled out of your mind. It's like it gets worse and worse as you think about it.
So, first mistake, MisanGlorpe. Oh, like misanthrope. But first mistake, you watched it in the daytime. So I did watch this movie sober, but I watched it at night with 2 friends in a completely empty theater. First of all, best way to watch it. Okay, so that's the first part. Oh, yeah, also the thesis is that in exactly 2 years, Joker 2 is going to be a goddamn, like, cinematic masterpiece that everybody's freaking out over. And I'm going to be the only one of the only people who actually, like, stuck by its guns at the start. So let's listen to these future phonies.
Forgot how absolutely pathetic Arthur was in this, and him being...
Okay, so Arthur is pathetic. All the trailers for Joker 1 are Arthur crying in a car and crying in various places and laughing hysterically because he can't control his, like... Arthur Fleck is a pathetic character. That's literally the point of Joker 1. Just like, what's the fucker? Travis Bickle. Fucking loser. Goddamn bitch made. Fucking losers. Pathetic. That's what's both of them. But it's funny because we don't consider them pathetic due to their ability to do violence. But throughout this entire movie, Joker 2, Arthur Fleck, he's in prison. It's very hard to do violence in prison when you're weak and bitch made and don't have a gun. So, but there are actually a few moments where Arthur Fleck very much does begin to assert himself. The firing of his lawyer, very active decision. His decision to pursue Harley, it was reactive, but it is an active thing based off of what he wants and getting caught up in the moment. What else were the good ones? Oh yeah, the scene where he and the boy, I think is supposed to be Riddler, but might be somebody else, I'm not fucking sure. I don't read comics. But the scene where that dude and him are like chilling on the bench, and then all the police guards come out, and fucking Daddy is like, "Oh, you got to get out of here, you laddies," and shit. And then he gets the visitation from Harley Quinn, I think, is at that point. But yeah, these are all very active points where Joker is making active decisions. But they are active decisions that are spurred on by other things. It can't just be purely self-generated, and that's the biggest difference between, well, I haven't seen Joker 1, but presumably that seems to be the biggest difference between his active actions in 1 versus his active actions in 2. His active actions in 1 are all the actions of an isolated, lonely individual who doesn't really have community or know anyone else. Through his expressions with fame and his recognition of his own fame in a form that he can understand and spurred on by Harleen Quinzel or whatever the fuck they're calling her. But yeah, he becomes, yeah, I don't know. He does shit because other people are giving him something to do. They're giving him an identity for the first time. It's not just an identity that he's having to graft on. Well, that does actually seem pretty comparable to the way that the Joker identity itself is grafted on by his mother giving him the cause of reason and hope and I guess purpose in the first one through using his deformities and his disabilities to make other people laugh, which leads into the Joker figure that he begins to craft that starts as something that is supposed to be a harmless clown that brings people joy and turns into a vigilante figure that does violence. And then obviously Joker, Arthur Fleck getting murdered at the end of it, and also his very active decision in the courtroom to not go for the final joke, but to instead be vulnerable with himself, to take off that mask. Arthur Fleck does not have two personalities. That is something that is debated throughout the entire movie. Arthur Fleck does not have two personalities. The Joker is a character. Everybody else, though, fell in love with the Joker more than they fell in love with Arthur Fleck. No one gave a shit about Arthur Fleck. Even Harley didn't give a shit about Arthur Fleck. She's not willing to fuck him until she puts on his real face, puts on the Joker makeup. She doesn't see, and at a point, he does use that mask to become someone else. Similar to the conversation between the Riddler and the Batman in that other Batman movie that they made that people liked. I haven't seen that one either. But just like that one, when they're having the conversation talking about, the beauty of the mask, there is ways in which the mask does allow them to become their more authentic self. In the moment, for that immediate expression, to become someone. No one cared who I was before I came up, put on the mask and stuff. Nobody is a mask. It's still a statement. Whatever the fuck the Riddler's name is in Batman, he's not nobody. He knows very well who he is. He knows when he takes on the moniker of nobody, when that becomes something more powerful, it's because it's what other people see him, the people in power. Because he does know, if he actually gave them their name, it would just be nobody to them. But if you name yourself what you know that other person is thinking of you, nobody, suddenly your actual name takes on power. It's something people actually want to sort out. People never cared about me until I put on the mask. I haven't seen that one either. Yeah, video. We are 15 seconds in.
So passive. All the discussions and aftermath is just crazy. I didn't think I'd make another video about this, but I felt compelled to. Turns out I did have a lot more to say, and hopefully it's the last. I might as well say it now before this movie fades away, and everyone...
Not gonna fade away. We're gonna have motherfucking queer, gay, goddamn fucking video screenings of it. I swear to God, this movie's gonna be a new fucking Rocky Horror.
Every once in a while, I'll be mentioned for the dumpster fire that it was. And also, I just want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed to me.
She did a little Nicolas Cage gif where gif. Sorry for saying that wrong, but where he's like winking,
And watch the video, whether you like the video or not, whether you agree.
I don't like the video and I don't agree. I mean, it's not poorly made. I mean, it's lazy, but I'm literally just smoking weed in front of a camera that I hope is right side up.
Agreed with me or not, I really appreciate the interaction. This is one of those unifying moments in media. So first I want to...
Not unifying. It's unifying for now. It'll never stay unified, though. We are past the monoculture.
Talk about what happened here, what possibly went wrong with this movie, the whole fandom issue, criticisms, and then I wanted to express a possible way the sequel could have been better. And I mean better as in it could have been written better, with the goal of forcing Arthur to be accountable. And I mean better as in it could have been written better, with the goal of forcing Arthur to be accountable and break him down. Not...
Alright, so this is something that people really commonly do, and I notice this more with, like, liberals and left-leaning people than I do with other people, is, they want God to tuck them in at night and tell them that everything is okay, because they recognize that God has been obliterated into tiny little pieces, and there's pieces with power, but there's, for the most part, they have correctly shunted God into a very materialist base. And they also recognize it as something that, needs to be nice. Something that more honestly and often gets translated into film. That's where the liberal imagination goes to have their good night stories. And it's a beautiful thing. I've done it myself. But movies don't owe you clean stories. Arthur Fleck doesn't get to learn what the fuck is going on. 'Cause he's always his whole life been a little baby. And it's not his fault. He was raped by his mother and then forced into a position where he was given this extended adolescence that went on until Joker 1, which is his teenage finding of, coming of age story. It's Arthur Fleck learning how to that he can do the bad things, that he can go past just his imagination of acting and actually become an adult, that nothing is actually keeping him from doing anything that he wants to do. He can do whatever he wants, but then you are cursed to have to live with the consequences of those actions. If you do whatever you want, sometimes whatever you want is going to hurt people. It's going to make other people do whatever they want to you. Now, also, though, Arthur Fleck correctly recognizes that through his entire life, he did what he was supposed to do, and other people just did bad shit to him all the time. You get what you fucking deserve. He was able to recognize, as most people are, that other people can do bad things before he can recognize that he himself can do bad things. The weird thing about that is that so much of that, honestly, bad things, good things, it's all about the classification of yourself. If you grow up thinking of yourself as good for long enough, and you do a bad thing, and maybe nobody knows that you did it, or maybe not enough people were around, or maybe the people who do know that you did it tell you it's a good thing, how would you be able to know that it's a bad thing? If all of the signals, everything else is telling you the exact same thing, telling you the same thing when you were doing the good, normal stuff. You do everyday, regular things, or maybe you even go above and beyond, and you've got these things in your life where sometimes people notice, sometimes people don't. But the people who notice then tell you that's a good thing. And you go on, continue to do that, and you murder a person. And then everybody who would normally tell you it's a good thing or a bad thing or not notice, some of them do notice, some of them don't notice. The ones who do, they tell you, no, this is a good thing. That murder becomes a good thing because you're given the exact same inputs for everything else. Now, maybe you've had a good grown, you've absorbed the rest of culture. There's levels to which you know that murder is bad. But now let's say that a person came after you with a knife. Someone just randomly in the street run at you with a knife and tries to stab you. Maybe you're protecting your mother, and you have a gun and you shoot them. That is, legally that's not murder, but you did kill a person. We are often told that killing is bad. A lot of people who are even told for a long time and really broken down in the military that killing is good, you still end up having huge episodes of PTSD, problems that then come after that. Is possible that we have something inherent in ourselves that makes us know that killing is bad. But I know people who have killed who don't feel bad about that killing. I mean, I'm sure you do too. I actually don't know anybody like that. Yeah, let's keep watching the video. We're 59 seconds in.
Not that I agree with going that route, but I think there could be a better version of that story. I'll put some timestamps in, don't worry. I was going to get into some of the reports out there regarding what happened with this, but many are doing just fine just rummaging through articles and whatnot already. I really don't think I need to rehash all that. I don't know.
So this is the whole around the whole conspiracy theories and stuff that either that it's studio involvement that destroyed Joker 2, or that Todd Phillips hates the fans and so he destroyed Joker 2. No. Todd Phillips made the movie he wanted to make with Joker 1. Todd Phillips made the movie Joker 2 is the movie Todd Phillips wanted with Joker 1. They both share intense dance sequences, many breaks within reality, a high focus on film and stage and the idea of identity being seen. They are absolutely, A and B. It's just that A was made to be marketable, and B was made by the guy who realized, oh shit, I can make my gay-ass fucking superhero movie now where, there's no violence and nothing really happens. And they just sing a bunch of songs I really like. Because who doesn't want to make that movie? Well, okay, here's the other thesis. Joker 2 was made exclusively for Todd Phillips and me. And I don't give a shit that the rest of y'all don't like it. I like that the rest of y'all don't like it. It gives me power.
really not my thing, honestly. But it seems like it's a lot about...
It's really not most people's thing. That's the big thing. We should live in a movie where we should live in a world where every single person has that movie or that story that is made for no one else except for them and the person who made it. That's a beautiful fucking thing. I really like that we're getting to a point where culture is diffuse enough and people have enough weird-ass associations with very different hyperfixations within culture that we can create such singular pieces. It's a really awesome thing, and it's pretty cool that he gave everybody the movie that they liked, that they wanted for a long time, that he gave them this piece that was really powerful, spoke to them, and also spoke to himself, reflected very formative cinema from his past. I mean, you do not cross fucking Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy without having a deep fucking love for Scorsese in film. Like, this guy knows... I've never seen either of those movies, by the way. I've never seen Taxi Driver. I've never seen King of Comedy. I've never seen Joker. I, smoked weed through the entirety in the theater of Joker 2. I'm kidding. I was sober. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. What are we talking about?
Oh, who's to blame? Was it Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, Warner Brothers Studio? Whose idea was it? Who should have...
Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips has been standing in his parents' backyard belting different show tunes from different, movies that he probably, I bet his parents had, one of those fucking projectors and had a bunch of old film reels and shit. And I bet you that this fucking little fairy fucking tranced around all along, singing songs by himself and imagining the way that they perfectly fit up into these moments in movies. Because, especially if you really like musicals when you grow up and you don't really understand, story making as a whole, you kind of just start to, envision certain moments. And especially if you're a fairy who, loves musicals and watched way too much choreography around that stuff, you start to choreograph your own, moments within that. It's going to come up later within this, but a very common point I've been hearing is that musical moments have to represent deep emotional impacts within characters. They have to express more than blah blah. Fucking watch some goddamn musicals. No, it's the gayest goddamn shit ever. Sometimes it's just that people like to dance and talk about their feelings. When I was a fucking kid, that shit pissed me the fuck off. I could not stand those parts of musicals. I can't stand those musicals. I tend to avoid those musicals in general. What I really liked about it with Joker 2 is that everybody's saying this, but they're not recognizing that these are representing things that are not just expressed in the movie, because it's all Arthur's fantasy. God damn it, watch Chicago. This is just goddamn Chicago. Watch anything with Liza Minnelli in it. Musicals do not have to have, sometimes it is expressing something in very obvious words. The lyrics themselves are giving you insight into the emotions of the characters that would not otherwise be exhibited. Sometimes it's that these things can't be exhibited in words. That crazy fucking, all-out, almost 4-minute long section with Joker just dancing and Lady Gaga singing through the entire, mountain out of a molehill bit. These are things that can't be expressed through the art of just showing you the events that happen, because it's all in Gaga and fucking his head. Harley Quinn and fucking what's-his-face are having an asymmetrical romance that's entirely based within their own brains. That's what she says at the end when she says, we can't continue it. I think it'll be really funny if it turns out that she did actually get pregnant from their very lame sex that they had. Oh, I have to find you guys a review on Letterboxd that somebody made about how, Todd Phillips betrayed everybody by having that fucking sex scene in Joker 2. I knew I loved that movie when that was the sex scene in Joker 2. That man has never had sex. He probably figured out how to jerk off when he was 36. That's what sex with the Joker would look like. People who have never had sex before are, writing in to be oh my god, this sex is so unrealistic. Bitch, fuck a virgin. Try that. Have sex with a virgin and tell me what that's like, huh? Huh? Yeah, oh my god, no, so unrealistic. Fuck a virgin. Fuck a virgin and then tell me that that's not what fucking sex with a goddamn 40-year-old white virgin dude would be like. That's exactly what it's like. Fucking hell, I've never had sex with a 40-year-old white virgin dude. I want to make that clear. Not that I wanted some of y'all, Keanu Reeves, hit me up, please. But, he's asexual, that was kind of an unfair joke. Okay.
Up begrudgingly to set, who refused to work with others or whatever stupid drama may have happened. In all honesty, I don't care. Whatever happened between 2019 and now for this movie is done and it's out there. The movie should speak for itself. So we get it. You hate the Joker. You hated what it became. You hate the people that liked it.
She's talking about Todd Phillips at this point. I do think that he was deeply critical of the vast majority of the reaction he got, but I don't think it's like it's the fans. She's gonna go into this like really big long tangent. I've watched half this video before, and then I decided to record this. She's gonna go into a big long tangent about like how to. But you got to remember that this was Todd Phillips's baby, and now we're gonna watch. Here, let's find. Oh God, what's his name? Oh, come on, these definitely exist. We'll see if it's this.
My name is Patrick Bateman.
Okay.
I'm 27 years old.
Lucky bastard.
Lucky Jew bastard.
Jesus, McDermott, what does that have to do with anything?
I've seen that bastard sitting in his office talking on the phone to the CEO, spinning a fucking menorah.
Not a menorah. You spin a dreidel.
Oh my God, Bateman, you want me to fry you up some fucking potato pancakes? Some latkes?
No, just cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
Okay, that's a cool Bateman moment, I guess.
It's a cash bar.
Well, is it? I think he's still being anti-Semitic, but...
Fucking ugly bitch.
Okay, that's more Patrick Bateman-y.
Of a Patrick Bateman.
Oh, this isn't a Sigma compilation. The point is, go Google it yourself. Look up Joker Sigma compilation. It is so goddamn sad. It's pathetic. It's really upsetting. Like, and some of them are being done ironically, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get it, and I'm all in for the irony. The thing is, like, for all the ones that are being done ironically, they don't have, like, 2 million views or some shit like that because everybody's like, oh, yeah, this is ironic. Some people think that Arthur Fleck from the first movie is the coolest dude ever. No, they don't think he's the coolest dude ever. They think he's literally
My
me.
name is Patrick Bateman.
They think he's literally me. That's the whole like joke, right? Oh my God, he me for real,
recently made a
like,
video.
oh, that's kind of racist. But yeah, you know, he's me. Fucking goddamn dude in the pale purple light looking up, with a fucking bandage over his nose and shit. Like, oh my God, that's me for real. I'm the pretty dude who's realizing that everything sucks. Everything around me sucks, and everything hates me, and everything's gonna destroy me. It's all out to get me. Because it is. It is. Don't get me wrong. It is. It's all out. There's a lot out there that's trying to eat you. It's trying to eat all of us, though. It's not just you. And sometimes you're part of the thing trying to eat other people. Arthur Fleck is that. Bateman's literally a goddamn predator. He's a serial killer who cuts up women because he thinks it's fun. That's the point of the movie. Well, the real point of the movie is that there's no difference between a stockbroker and a serial killer who wants to cut up and eat people, that they're doing the same thing just through alienated methods. But we're not there yet. Yeah, Joker.
Got it. I really didn't want to bring this up, but
Yeah,
it's
they
really
all
annoying
hate
hearing
you.
people
It's all
repeating
about
the same
you.
talking
Just
points about
remember, it's
toxic
always
fans and
about
using
you.
blanket statements
Everything that happens
regarding
in
who
your
are the
life,
kinds
it's
of
all
people
about
that
you.
loved
It's
the
not
first
about
Joker.
anything else.
What are the
It's
gripes
all
with the
about
fans?
you.
Honestly, are there insufferable fans? Probably. Many fandoms can be. That's just a given. Someone is passionate about something, they like to discuss it. And here I'm talking.
I got given Rick and Morty socks for, I think it was like my 19th birthday or some shit like that. It might have been Christmas. It was sweet. It was an aunt. I really liked her ex-husband. He was chill. A little too chill. And not nearly mentally old enough. It wasn't totally his fault. He had a lot of CTE and brain damage, but he also had a personality that really led himself to getting addicted to shit. And but one of the last times where and they're good now. They needed to be divorced, and she's found someone way better, but I haven't heard from him in a long time. One of the last times I did, I was sneaking outside of my grandparents' house to smoke weed and maybe steal a few beers. And he was still up down there in the basement. And he had Rick and Morty on. I still liked it, don't get me wrong. It had just gotten to that point where it was like, I knew how lame it was, you know? And the funny thing is that from the first episode, the first people who knew how lame it was Rick and Morty creators. You know, the Rick and Morty guy, the sex pest and the sex predator. Yeah. They were the first people who knew how lame it was, but they weren't making it for anybody else. They were laughing at everybody for the fact that these fucking dumbasses just bought the stupidest They just bought goddamn Doc and Marnie. Have you ever watched The Adventures of Doc and Marnie? It's one of those things made by the Sex Predator. It's a treat. You should pull it up for your kids. But yeah, he was, we smoked some weed. Well, he gave me tail end of a J that he'd smoked, and I threw it into a bowl mine. And, I realized the people that everybody was talking about when they said that Rick and Morty was embarrassing now. Not all of them. I'd known a lot of them already, but it's kind of a class thing, too, wasn't it? Suddenly, losers and weirdos, 30-year-old fucking morphine addicts who grew up their entire life bonking their head because of their fucking seizures. Suddenly those losers got our toys. Rick and Morty was too smart for them. But it was also so stupid that it made sense how they could laugh at it. They didn't get the real jokes, but also part of the real joke was the fact that it was so stupid. I think sometimes I hate those poorer than me. It's not really that way anymore. Grew into a real guilt complex. Really fucked me up. Made me feel like I wasn't allowed to get close to the people who I wanted to. I got bullied by one of the real stupid kids in elementary school. I got bullied by a lot of the real stupid kids. I could have probably kicked their ass, honestly. Maybe not fully. But I could have gotten into a fight and they would have left me alone. But, you know, you learn from karate. You never start the fight first and shit. And also because you're the smart erudite one who knows the way the books goes, and these are stupid goddamn idiots, you know eventually they're going to throw the first punch. You're going to perfectly deflect it. You're going to block it. And you're gonna beat them. You're gonna finally get to show all that time in karate paid off, all that exercise you always do, the way you can run through the hills like no one else. You're gonna beat their asses. They actually didn't fucking know what was coming to them. While they were all fucking playing COD and drinking Mountain Dew, you were studying the blade. But you don't need a real blade. Just like the Bible says, the true sword of God is in your heart. Fuck. That was it for a long time, wasn't it? If you can't tell, I'm a moralist. I think that there's right and wrong, and we should do the right, and that wrong things are bad. It's a very deep philosophy. You can go pretty far with it. Joke time. Joker time.
Talking about the Joker as a whole, not just the first movie. He's an intriguing character. And this first movie was a success.
I mean, he is and he isn't. He's kind of just a sad dude who's been abused. He's intriguing if you've never seen one before. Kind of sexy if it's like Joaquin Phoenix doing it, but I mean, they can be really interesting. They'll often have really deep fucking fixations on very specific things that they put like a lot of time into learning. And sometimes you'll be bad at prodding it out, but if you do a better job about listening to them, it won't be, I mean, some of them will just bring it out in the open. I like trains, you know, things like that. But a lot of them will be like more subtle about it. It's what they redirect conversation to that you have to look for. And then you just do a second innocent question that gives some idea that you know something about the subject, but not a lot. The key to talking to anyone is getting them to teach you.
Success. But there was a lot of people that did not like Joker. You want to hit back at all the people you perceive as the fans, yet you end up isolating everyone. I've met people that simply enjoyed the first one, just average people. Joker was liked for a variety
I do believe you are out there. I have not met you.
of reasons. The cinematography, the music, the atmosphere, the message, the interpretations, the acting, the references, how it made them feel. So many different reasons, and from people from all walks of life. Don't tell people they're wrong for liking it and assume.
Literally, you can say the exact same sentence about Joker 2. Like, it's just that no one, like, in Joker 1, the references are really on the nose, and, well, that's unfair. The references are really popular. They're for subsects of film and nerd fandom and TV fandom and movie fandom, whatever the fuck. They're subsects that a lot of people have had time to... Their core canon is what the references in Joker 1 are. Joker 2 is Todd's canon. These are what some of like core canon is still going to be assigned reading. You know, a lot of people haven't seen fucking King of Comedy. I haven't seen King of Comedy. But the references in Joker 2, the references in Joker 1 are for everyone else. The references in Joker 2 are for Todd. That's the difference. Like, I don't really understand why this is so hard to get.
Assuming the reason. Why are there some people online that are...
Because it's not a complex movie. Like, that's the one thing I don't want anybody... Joker 2 is not deep. It's not deep. It is... I mean, there's deep moments. There's deep thoughts. There's things going on there. And it's the... It feels the... I mean, it has to, due to the subject material it chooses to make. It has to continue on to a conversation that has gotten very deep. Both that of identity, identity pertaining to the average criminal and to everyone, but also specifically, if you're just talking the politics out of it, the identity of the Joker. If you're making something about Joker, it has to be about identity, even if you don't want it to be. It's gonna be stuck there, because Joker has become identity incarnate. Batman to a lesser degree, but that's why Joker is one of the biggest foils to Batman. The Riddler has to put on their mask. Batman puts on his mask. At first, Joker paints on his mask, so it's all on his skin and right there. But over time, Joker's deformities become the paint. It's like, I mean, I think the Heath Ledger Joker, the closest thing I can think of what his face paint looks like, it's white phosphorus glued to his skin. It's like... Oh, no, it's not white phosphorus. It's 9/11. Everything in that goddamn movie is 9/11. Dark Knight, chill it with 9/11, okay? Look, Dark Knight's only ever seen one goddamn tragedy. Dark Knight's the dude who only knows about 9/11, and then every time they see another tragedy, they're like, oh my god, that's just like 9/11. Like, Jesus Christ, Dark Knight, chill the fuck out. Doesn't all have to be 9/11. There's other things that happened. But yeah, no, it's the ash from the Twin Towers falling down on, September 11th. That's what that is. Glued to his face. He is the madness that comes with recognizing that you're not safe. Ooh. Like, that was only a scary thing to white people. Like, everybody, I mean, not even all white people, like, fucking, there's plenty of white people who know that they're not fucking safe, and to not take them 9/11 to know that they're not goddamn safe, that something's coming to eat them in the dark. Ugh, that's everybody. We're all being hunted. It just depends on the level of security we have between us and the thing hunting us. And sometimes other people can be that barrier between the thing hunting you, you know. I don't have to run faster than the bear, John. I just have to run faster than you. Yeah, hurt? But it's still going to keep chasing you after it eats that other person.
Just being assholes or something about it. Like, okay, it doesn't represent everybody. I even met
2 minutes and 42 seconds.
someone that didn't even see the first Joker. He still didn't like the second. There are people that really didn't.
I didn't see the first Joker. I loved the second. I also, based on what everyone was saying, shit-talking the movie, I was like, oh, shit, I have to go to the theaters in the first time in a long time to see this movie, because this movie was literally made for me. Also, I really have to watch Banshees of Inisherin. Someone, bully me about that in the comments if I publish this.
Didn't
which
care
would be
much for
fun.
the first and still didn't like the second one. You deem that the entire fan base for the movie were a certain type of way, which again is wrong. You were the ones that made it in the first place. For someone that claims that they didn't want to make a comic book movie, you still added some references in there, huh? I'd say even more than the last. But
Oh my god, you were compelled by the fucking job that you chose to make something that you weren't super interested in, and you did your job good? You know.
But I digress. It's honestly embarrassing to hear that people think this cultivates or promotes the ideas of a dangerous, mentally ill man. Like, that's just beyond stupid. Where did you hear that?
This is a fair kick. This is a very fair kick. And I do have, at first I thought it was fucking stupid, but there was a kid who I really love. You know, he was not in a weird way, the way you would a cousin. Grew up around him, my parents and us. I remember when he was born. My parents and his parents were in a Bible study together. Well, a Bible study. It was really just a group where they got around to complain about the bullshit that was going on in their lives. So, you know, kind of like one of those things that Jesus did with his disciples. Whatever you call that. But, yeah, I don't know. He was a good amount younger than my little brother, but him and my little brother were very similar in the way that they were different from everybody else in the community. And my little brother's always been good with younger kids. He's both really good as caretaker, but also, just relating to them. And, yeah. They were really good friends. And, actually got to babysit them at one point when I was younger too. Good kids. But the kid was the oldest who I'm talking about. I think he went through a pretty deep bout with depression, and I'm sure people talked about it, and if I brought it up, I'm sure somebody would have told me what they knew or some shit like that. But that's kind of the trouble with small towns. It's not enough to just have an inkling of what's going on. You also have to have the courage to gossip about it. But that's what they don't teach you about gossip. If nobody gossiped, no one would get anything done. Everybody would just be alone. Gossip's going to really hurt some people. Sometimes it's it's a hammer. Everything looks like a nail, yada yada. But it can also really help people. Can let you know about problems that you didn't otherwise. There's a reason that it's your boss that doesn't want you to gossip. And there's a reason that it's your priest, if you know what I mean.
That Twitter, some article, people go to the extremes to mischaracterize masses of people. Maybe some people have grievances with their life and society. Who are you to dictate that? How someone may understand a villain. It happens all the time, but that doesn't mean...
Anywho, this kid went as Joker for Halloween, a year after the movie came out. It's so fucking cringy what I did. I heard him say some kind of Tate-ish shit. Seemed like he was getting more into some of that right-wing stuff. Definitely going down some of it. I think probably more in the traditionalist way, but that can still lead to people like John Doyle. I don't think my dad did anything on it, but I just told him, hey, you heard the whole reputation that Joker's got with, the incel crowd? Oh, I think I've heard something about that. Yeah. I don't know, the stuff you were saying about him and him going as Joker, like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes gossip is good, though. It can help people. You know who inspired me to do this? The Riddler. Good at talking. I like talking. I'm pretty good at it. People are starting to wake up. It's getting to actual morning time. I'm gonna keep talking with y'all. Hopefully finish the video. But if you're watching this at 3 a.m., there's a new day in a few hours. Just remember that. You know, you can keep whatever schedule you like, especially if you have to. I get it in this economy. But yeah. By the way, this video is only 10 minutes long and 28 seconds, and we are only at minute 3, second 24. If I'm reading this clock right, I think we're at 41 minutes and 54 seconds when I was saying that. I need to stop smoking. God, please bless Cricket. Please keep them safe. Please keep him okay. Please keep him good. Thank you for safely bringing him through this part of the night. It's weird living in 2 time zones, at least. How many time zones do you live in? Comment that down below to engage me. Do engagement. Engage me. Engage. Engage. It's funnier the more times I say it, right? Me and my little brother used to do that all the time. About engagement, yeah. It's morning again in America. They're going off to work. I am unemployed. I got a text by Kayla to send me that job app. I got a really good job application. Right before I had a drug trip spontaneously. And, well, smoked a J off of some people I didn't know. Let a homeless man stay over at my house and use my computer to jack off. Needless to say, I left for karaoke, and presumably in that time he stole my upstairs neighbor's bike. Nobody's perfect. The dude who stole the bike was a bald man named Samson, so I think it's probably biblical. One Roman loses a bike. There's worse things. I leave my car unlocked at all times. At one point, in the dead of winter, a homeless man snuck in there. I didn't have anything valuable to steal, so nothing got stolen. But, you know, some stuff was like out of place. It was clearly rustled, but, you know, No one's broken into my window yet. I can get whatever they need by just jiggling the handle. Sometimes the best defense is a weak offense. Or I guess it would be sometimes the best defense is a weak defense. Probably what they mean when they say good offense, though. That's what your boss says when they're not putting enough into like a certain part of the company. It's, look, we're not weakening that part of the company. We are strengthening the other parts. You have to understand. You gotta understand. You don't understand. Almost done. We can go inside. Oh, come to my friend's show like a month ago. There's a genocide in Palestine right now. I don't know if you know that. Let's watch the Joker 2 response about how it's an evil movie that hates you. There it goes.
You agree with them. That doesn't mean there's inherent evil lurking within those who happen to like a certain character or movie. Do good movies...
There's inherently evil lurking within everybody, but that also gets into your definition of evil. By the way, it's 3 minutes and 31 seconds in now. This is Boots down here. He's going to be making some noise, probably yelling in a second, because I fed him too early. But yeah, there's inherently evil lurking within all of us. Also, everybody's definition of evil and good is different. So what somebody might think of themselves as a positive quality or something that they think is good could appear as evil to you, yada yada. Next.
Movies focused on a bad guy or the criminal element not exist. Just stop with this. You see, I have to go out and interact with people, unfortunately. So these kinds of narratives are just pure divisive nonsense to me. Show me how this horrible opinion or person is affecting your everyday life. And don't show me some stupid internet bullshit. Back to the actual
Okay,
happenings.
but that's also fair because most people's lives are online, and if you're a combative nuisance, you like to seek out, or you just are naturally placed in places with people who have the exact opinion that's going to just make you go crazy, or you find new ones. That's why the internet is the perfect, haven of brain rot. But yeah, internet is real life. We spend a lot of time on it, and if people are seeking something out, there's a selection bias there, but they can point to it. Just because it's a fucking Twitter argument with someone who only has Twitter arguments doesn't mean that it's not something they're going to use as an example towards that. That's not to say you're wrong. I think you're way more right than the people who are fixate on that, but your argument is open to the fact that they have a box that can let them find anybody they hate and anybody who they think is wrong and evil and argue with them at any point in time. So they can find those people if suddenly your argument is left open to a weakness that you didn't need to even have exposed or there.
The movie. So yeah, Harley, the Joker's followers, they are a representation of the audience, the fans. At least this is how the creators of the movie think that this is how the people that loved Joker are. And again, may I remind you that some people just loved...
Okay, yeah, but different people represent different facets within that. Harley is the base of the Joker fandom that in some ways liked it for the right reasons. I think Harley is one of the most correct characters within the film. She understands how to exist within that world in a way that, nobody else does. She knows when the lies are useful. She knows how to reveal the lies without revealing them. She understands the difference between the meta-narrative and the narrative within the film. She is very cogent. And I guess the biggest debate is, did she ever plan on becoming a political operative and operator within the narrative of the film? And I would still say that Joker 2 is pretty confused as far as it gets on the actual politics, because Gotham, does need to be fought. There are really big problems there that cannot just be solved by making molehills into mountains, or at least not in the way that Harley and Joker intend to, or Harley and Arthur intend to. I would say I think Todd is very obviously Arthur Fleck. I think that's the most like obvious point you can make, and I would say that in a lot of ways. Harley is the people who would like both Joker 1 and 2. That's who Harley is. In some ways, I think I might agree with Harley's perspective on stuff a lot more than I agree with Todd's. And it's why I find the death at the finale interesting, and why I think it can kind of work into this idea of having, like, I think within... So I know a lot of people say that Matt Reeves' Batman and the Joker are in separate, like, universes, and I'm sure, like, yes, that literally is what's happening, but with where we're at currently, Baka, you hurt me. You hurt me. Don't do that. Tss, tss. Too rough. Tss, 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 tss. Oya, baja, sana, shepa. There you go. That doesn't hurt me. But yeah, so I think Harley is in some ways leftists, or quite frankly the female fandom of Joker 1. It's people who didn't get a purely toxic masculine message out of it. They got a rejection of the system. The people who really got the first movie might not be the people who are supposed to be the intended audience of 2, because, 2 ends with Harley recognizing that she and Fleck have very different understandings of what that actual relationship was, of what the magic is, and her abandoning Fleck, and Fleck choosing to just go back to the set of the whole thing, to Arkham. He doesn't know what else to do. I think that the Todd Phillips Joker movies and the Bat Reeves movies, they both can work into the same kind of timeline, because in many ways the Joker 2 is the death of the Joker. Arthur Fleck symbolically rejects his call to be the Joker at the climax of the film, when he chooses to just have a serious one-to-one conversation with the jury. His final joke is getting convicted, getting electrocuted. That's the real fucking joke, that he gets what he fucking deserves. He recognizes himself as a murderer who was bullied. That's his journey through the second one. He recognizes that he was a bullied victim who became the victimizer. That's the whole conversation with Puddles, or Pudding, or, whatever that guy's name is. But, it's him coming to awareness of the fact that he has a choice, too. He could become the Joker. He had the chance to fully become the Joker. He was going to become the Joker. But he chose his authentic self over the Joker. The Joker was a character that he used to get things done. By the end of the film, I think he recognizes the Joker as a necessary thing, something he had to do. He was probably going to get killed in that subway car. At the very least, those people would have beaten him really horrifically. Hashtag Arthur Fleck did nothing wrong in the subway. He should have shot those guys. Probably should have shot those guys a lot sooner. The world would be better if more people shot the guy who strangled that man to death in that train car, than if we just let the dude strangle the man having a psychotic episode in the train car. And it breaks my heart, because I am a pacifist. I don't want anybody to get shot. I want to talk them all down. I want to be Kipo. I gotta tell you about that one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. That show. Oy vey. Joker, 4 minutes and 1 second.
The movie, and not necessarily Joker or Arthur. Arthur wasn't the fantasy. He wasn't playing along, and Harley and others left him. I didn't see any growth between...
Yes. That is okay. I'm actually kind of thankful that I'm like taking this in this bite-sized way, because by cutting her words down to points where they're no longer recognizable, I'm actually able to get some value out of them. Yeah, that exactly. Arthur is not the fantasy. And when he recognizes that and exposes himself genuinely to the community that he had been forming, he realizes that they don't want Arthur Fleck. They want the Joker. They want the Joker to be real. And he doesn't want to be the Joker. He wants to be Arthur Fleck. He wants to be able to become the Joker when he needs to. But he by the end of the movie, I think he likes Arthur Fleck. And I think he likes Arthur Fleck because Arthur Fleck is the Joker, and Harley Quinn fell in love with the Joker, so Harley Quinn can fall in love with Arthur Fleck. All the stuff that Harley really loved about the Joker, all the stuff that Harley really got about the Joker, she's not going to get about that psychopath who stabbed him at the end. That's not her Joker, baby. Arthur Fleck is her Joker, but the magics that she uses to keep herself alive and to animate the entire film, the magics of fantasy and belief, can't stand up to Arthur Fleck's magic of genuineness and vulnerability. I think there can be synthesis between those two, but not in the place where Harley was at, not in the way that she understood her powers. So that's that's one of the big theses or punchlines of Joker 2. Arthur Fleck and Todd Phillips have to die so that the Joker can be what it always is. The psychopath is always going to kill Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck can't hack it. Arthur Fleck is far more comparable to the Silver Age Joker. Arthur Fleck couldn't go up against Batman. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck are you talking? Arthur Fleck could go up against Batman? Arthur Fleck's only good in a courtroom. Arthur Fleck is the vaudeville actor. Nope, I don't like that. Arthur Fleck is the guy. Arthur Fleck is the fella. He's the man. Arthur Fleck is a person. Arthur Fleck is flesh and blood. The Joker can't die. Arthur Fleck's jokes won't die. Those will live on. The TV movie will live on. The shit he pulled in the courtroom, he's Abby Hoffman. Arthur Fleck is Abby Hoffman, who was never able to find community. Arthur Fleck is Abby Hoffman if Abby Hoffman was born poor. Poor and disabled. Poor and disabled with an abusive parental figure. Poor and disabled with no one looking out for you. Poor and disabled and invisible. Abby Hoffman could have been invisible, but Abby Hoffman made sure that for a long time, Abby Hoffman wasn't invisible. Abby Hoffman shined. Arthur Fleck got to shine for a little bit. It's really funny. Like, I laughed out loud really loudly in the theater every moment where the judge said, "This courtroom isn't a stage," or "This isn't a stage, this isn't a comedy." Every time he's saying that, it's amazing, because if he had not said that, the courtroom would have had more power as anything else. By defining it explicitly in its negation of what it is not, it most effectively becomes that thing. If the judge had not said, "This is not a stage," the judge saying "this is not a stage" primes you to see it as a stage. It primes you to see all the similarities. It gives you an end to say, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, this is a stage. Yes, this is a show you're putting on for us. You have defined roles that are easily categorized and mashed out into mass culture, which is what everything is, what we breathe in. It's the water that we now imbibe. Boy. It's all mass culture. That's why the nerd became everything. That's why nerdiness and gambling became the two ways to primarily engage with commodities and with commodity industries. If that's the right word for it. I don't know. I haven't read Marx. Fuck you. I'm not going to read Capital. I'm not going to do it. I do not have the attention span. Get me an audiobook that's not narrated by a fucking robot. Maybe I'll read Capital. That can be your homework. Get me something that I can actually do. I don't have the attention span to read Capital. It's fucking boring. It's like 500 pages about Lenins. Not the cool Lenin who killed a bunch of people. No, Linden's. Linden production. I can't do that shit. Fuck you. We're going back to the Joker.
Lee and Arthur. They talked to each other for like 10 minutes, and Arthur was just smitten for some reason and hooked.
Because it's the first woman who's ever, like, looked at Arthur Fleck and not be looking straight through him. It was the first person who looked at Arthur Fleck with love. Like, how stupid do you have to... It's not a hard movie to get. It's not a complex movie. It's pretty fucking simple. It's a fucking 1960s musical Twisted. It's a goddamn it's Gilbert and Sullivan with a fucking Joker decal wrapped around the side. It's not hard. Why do you think it only takes place in 2 locations for most of the movie? They literally go back to the stairs to have you, like, it's like giving a fucking kid a walk. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys keep joking about how much, like, the fucking internet ruined your brain and attention span. I guess it did. It's not hard to get.
No, she's a girl. Ooh. I'm sorry, but they had no chemistry. And so nothing happened.
Did you have chemistry with the first person you kissed? Tell me about your first kiss in the comments. Tell me about your first kiss in the comments. Tell me about your first kiss in the comment section. It will be good engagement to feed the God that we all live upon. The God that introduced you to me and me to you. Feed my comments. But yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's a girl. It's a girl who, like, can say your name and who remembers that you guys had fucking third period together a few years ago, and actually even kind of remembers that one time that, like, you know, you raised your hand and you asked a question. It was kind of confusing, and the teacher, like, tried to, like, say something, like, mean against you. And then you just had, like, the perfect retort to them, and suddenly you were able to, like, say your question as a statement. And they remembered the way you were so well spoken, and they can even tell you things about the comment that you completely forgot about when you, like, fucking, you know, put it in as a submission on fucking, like, Reddit or some shit. Like, they remember bits that you'd forgotten and specific words you said, and you might not have even said them. They made them sound better than you did. There's no way you could have said them that good. They've just been thinking about it for so long that your words became theirs. You were a voice in their head. You weren't invisible. Someone was watching you. You just didn't know. You're gonna fuck that person.
Been no progression, no escalation,
And
nothing
it's gonna be really bad sex.
learned. It was just very repetitive. When there are musical numbers in a movie, the music most of the time helps along a story. It should guide.
This is the point. It really doesn't have to. Please watch another musical other than La La Land. It's not hard. Cosmonaut Picture Show. Please watch another music other than La La Land. Your mother loves you. She loves Mamma Mia. Watch Mamma Mia with your mother, Cosmonaut. Cosmonaut. Watch Mamma Mia with your mother. She misses you.
The audience or express feelings. This was all expression in cover song form, and it didn't assist in the story.
Jukebox musical. Mamma Mia! You've watched Mamma Mia! I know you have, person. MisanGlorpe, you've watched Mamma Mia. I know you've watched Mamma Mia. I know you might have hated Mamma Mia. That's okay. You watched Mamma Mia. It's a thing. You know it's a thing. It's a thing. It's just, all you have to admit is that it's a thing. It's okay. Just, if you've got, like, people in your life who you really love and they hate superhero stuff, but they're, like, really fucking gay or, like, a mother or some shit like that, like, show them this movie. They're gonna love it. They're gonna like it, and then they'll watch Joker 1 with you. They'll watch. This is a movie made for your mom. Call your mother. Call your mother. By the way, this video is. I gotta do an ad read real fast. I'm really sorry. This movie is brought to you by your mother. Give her a fucking call, okay? She knows you watch fucking YouTube until 3 a.m. She knows what you're doing. She knows you're not actually. Give your mother a fucking call. Call your grandmother. Is she gonna die soon? She might die soon. Call your fucking grandmother. Jesus Christ.
Not the only one that pointed that out. Pull yourself away from everything you know about the first one. How would you feel about this one? And I do think you can do that.
I legitimately, actually, swear to God, I have never watched Joker 1. I need to, and I want to, rewatching Batman and having to wait like a week between each episode of The Penguin has made me really want to watch The Joker. I think I'm going to like it. I like the movie it's referencing. I haven't seen King of Comedy. Taxi Driver, I do legitimately like. It's, you know, it's, what's the word? It's way too feminine for my tastes. Like, it's really, God, it's like, you know, like my mom, you know, she really got me to watch it. She made me understand, like, what's good about it. But it's like The Help or any of those other ones, you know, it's dreary, boring, a bunch of scenes of just people, like, looking at each other through windows. Like, boys like dialogue. Boys like dialogue, men like dialogue, and I get that girls can just, like, sit around and watch pretty pictures. But as boys, we have short attention spans, and we just can't, like, do with fucking long, dreary movies like that make us think about the difference between masculinity. It's a very feminine movie. It's too girly for my taste, to be completely honest. Like, I can't do fried green tomatoes. I can't do The Help. I can't do Taxi Driver. I know a lot of men have this problem, and it's okay, but, like, legit, I think if you don't have the attention span for Taxi Driver, and, you know, if Taxi Driver is, you know, you get the point, but it's just too girly for you. Like, Joker's a really good way to get into it. And, you know, since, like, pretty much half the movie just is Taxi Driver, by the time you go back and watch Taxi Driver, it's there and be like, oh, that's just like in the Joker. And then your parents can explain to you what a porn theater is. So it's a great experience with the family. Taxi Driver. Get your mom to watch it with you, and she'll talk you through it, and she can, like, interrupt all of those really girly, boring moments where it's just long, still shots of things to talk you through what your emotions might be in the moment. And go to therapy. Go to fucking therapy, man. If that pissed you off, go to therapy. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. But yeah, I didn't like Taxi Driver because it was too womany. Too for woman.
That because they rehash almost everything that occurred in Joker. This as a standalone.
That might be the case, and if I watch Joker 1 and then I rewatch Joker 2, and I feel like there's more of a repetitiveness to it, I would very much understand that. But, you see, when you adapt something to live theater, you know, like, there's different, I think in a lot of ways, it's not Joker 2, it's Joker FOOLYDEUXLY. So, really, it's the live, it's like when you bring, Frozen to, the Ice Capades. And I know, as big manly men, you, like, understand, like, Ice Capades are one of those things that just really get you going. But, it's like bringing Frozen to the Ice Capades. There's certain things that you just can't do as well in the Ice Capades as you can do in the 3D computery stuff. Women below who understand how 3D computery stuff works, please comment, because I'm a boy and I don't get that stuff. It's too big for my head. So please explain computers to me, and I'd really like that. But yeah, so it's like with the Ice Capades. Joker FOOLYDEUXLY is the live theatrical version. It's the theater version of Joker 1. It's telling a slightly different story, but it's giving you the short and long beats of Joker through a different medium, through the medium of more stage-based things. It rehashes those moments, but it never shows you. There was only one moment that I thought was from Joker 1, and it's Joker from the movie The Joker. Oh God, what's that guy's name? Something Phoenix. River Phoenix, yeah. So River Phoenix, he's doing a big manly cry after murdering some people, and he's in a subway bathroom and he's trying to wash off the Joker face paint and stuff. And it's right after some big manly guards rape Joker from the movie The Joker, River Phoenix. Yeah. But yeah, so that was the only moment where, and I turned over to the people, the real fans of Joker, two of my friends who went and saw the movie to me, the real fan base of Joker, two Jewish women. And I asked them, was that like a scene directly from Joker 1? Because they'd just been doing a bunch of bits where they rehashed the plot of Joker 1, but in a courtroom. A area that would be far easier to film and depict or present and depict inside of a theater scenario than it would have been in a cinematic scenario. So, yeah, that's why they rehash a bunch of the bits, because it's doing a different medium. They're different takes on the same property, and because Joker 2 is using the more theatrical kind of presentation, it keeps its sets far more limited and shorter. It uses a lot more dialogue. It's kept to far fewer locations. That would be very easy. It would be really easy to do a actual on-stage FOOLYDEUXLY. It would be impossible to do Joker in its current form as a theatrical production, or at least you would have to really put work into it. It would be hard. It'd be like Les Mis shit or Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, the objectively best musical ever made.
Movie, in my opinion, still wasn't good. It still didn't work. It was longer for
Your opinion's wrong.
no reason. Take out all this
Okay, this part's good. This part's good.
in my opinion, still wasn't good. It still didn't work. It was longer for no reason. Take out all this singing. How long would it be? It filled up.
Watch Fiddler on the Roof with your dad. Or Anti-Semitic Uncle. Take out the singing. Take out the singing. Take out the singing. Oh my god, that play was so long. Imagine how much faster it would be if you took out the dancing. That's my least favorite part of Swan Lake. There was there was one undeniable flaw with Joker FOOLYDEUXLY. The fact that it didn't have a 30-minute intermission where the screen just went and said intermission and it just kept the whole 30 minutes in the runtime, and you just forced people to decide what to do. You just stay up there, you say, we will return in 30 minutes, and you just force people to see if they're just gonna sit there and treat it just like, dude, like, holy Todd Phillips, what the fuck were you thinking? Is that in the fucking director's cut, you son of a bitch? That's in the director's cut, right? I'm gonna buy this on Blu-ray and I can't play Blu-rays. That's in the director's cut. Oh, holy shit, that'd be so good. Could you imagine that in theaters? What if you were sitting there, you're watching Fast and the Furious XXX, this time with titties and family, Fast and the Furious Stepbrother Edition. Okay, let's say you're watching Fast and the Furious Step Brothers edition, and then out of nowhere, halfway through the movie, like, there's some big explosion, everybody's like, whoa, and it, like, had this cinematic fiery transition, and then it said, intermission, 30 minutes. Holy shit, you thought the Szechuan sauce riots were bad, bitch? I've got buckets of nerd rage! Bring Morbius back to theaters and put an intermission. I promise we'll go this time. You guys want to see my wizard stick? Ugh. Wizard stick. Wizard stick. Ugh. I hit my cat with it. I'm abusive. Call the cops on me, please. My neighbor really wants you to. Anybody else trip over their cat a lot? I feel really bad about it. That's the only way he can get like 3 meals out of me. Holy shit. Sometimes I think he like plants himself in spots, so I trip over him just so I'll feed him to make it up to him. That's right, I'm victim blaming my cat. Alright, Joker time.
Up time that could have been used for an actual story. What's the overall conflict?
Take out the scene so you can put an actual story in the movie. He honestly, he had enough money. He would have saved himself such a headache if he just brought it to Broadway. And then the fucking, like, the reaction that everybody would have had, they would have been like, what the fuck? It's only coming to Broadway? And then you just show like, that's what he should have done. If he wanted to avoid the hate, he would have actually made it a Broadway limited run production, film it, and then have that filmed version be the movie. Maybe you, like, intercut some, like, actual footage for the film version and stuff, so, like, you know, audience people who only can sit through movies don't, like, flip the fuck out and do a goddamn riot like they're in fucking, like, Orange County or some shit. But, yeah.
What was the end goal? And you can say this movie was a joke. Don't you see? It's all a big joke. And
That would be the funniest shit. That would actually be the funniest shit. If I'm just completely reading into this and he just, like, actually made shit on purpose and I'm just like, it's fucking amazing. Like, that's my dream. I hope that Todd Phillips didn't even make this movie for me. I hope the entire time Todd Phillips is just like screaming through clenched teeth. He's like, I hope this movie is so fucking shit. I hope everybody hates it. I hope nobody wants to go to the theater ever again. And like that nerd rage just created my perfect film. That would be that would convince. Well, I already believe in God, but yeah, that would be a God thing right there. That's a miracle.
everyone. That's what it's meant to be. And yeah, okay, I'll bite. That's a way to look at it. Fine. It's still not a good movie. Take away the first one. Imagine it as a one-off.
That's true. If he purposely made it a piece of shit, if he purposely went out, he's like, I'm gonna make a shit movie that everybody hates. I'm gonna make the worst movie ever. I'm gonna make a bad movie, and I'm gonna get Neil Breen to direct. I'm gonna get Neil Breen to ghost direct for me, and I'm gonna make the worst movie ever. I'm gonna bring Dominic Rouse in, and Dominic Rouse is gonna come and he's gonna direct this movie, and cause I fucking I listen to Dominic Rouse over his fucking computer laptop camera and shit, and I hate all of his ideas, but I just tune in because I hate nerds so much, and I know that this fucking nerd, everybody hates this gay ass nerd, and everybody's gonna hate what he loves, and so I let him direct the movie in his dreams. I stole his dreams to direct this movie. And and I purposely made the most shit movie ever because I hate nerds. That'd be awesome. I'd be Todd Phillips, sir, Todd Howard, whoever you are, aye, Captain. I'm all aboard at this point. You know, I'm on the train.
Is it still a good story? It's off-putting to say the least. And
If he purposely made it a piece of shit, it's a good story. Is it a good story? I don't know.
yes, I can try and look at it objectively.
All right. I appreciate the challenge that you have introduced to me. You have given me a petri dish full of shit and have asked me to objectively tear it apart and find the beating heart within this shit. I'm shit dissecting is what I'm doing. I do like a good shit dissect. I will say that. Yeah. No, those are videos. I'm not gonna lie. I talked myself back into it. No, fair enough, bitch. Fair enough.
Not thinking about my thoughts on the first one, and for me, it was still not enjoyable. It was simply not written well. So
Okay, that I disagree with. It was written fantastically. Like that, it's a deep movie. It's got a lot to say. The dialogue is in all the right places. It's funny. It's tongue-in-cheek enough. Enough of the references are clearly there, and there's a lot of references you can get if you're more into musical theater, and especially into like Hollywood musical theaters and films that have been turned into movies. Like, it's Chicago. Just watch Chicago. Like, you're not gonna like Chicago. Like, I'm the only person who likes Chicago. I had an argument with my teacher in 8th grade about whether or not Chicago deserved the fucking, does Chicago deserve to get the Oscar more than Moulin Rouge? Because she and all of my fucking theater friends were all in agreement in bullying me in class over the fact that I liked Chicago more than Moulin Rouge and that I stood up for Chicago. They were getting in their twee little comments, holding up their hands. It's like, bitch, I can still see you. I know that she put you over there because we were talking too much in class. I know where you sit in class, even if you sit behind me. Like, don't try to change your voice to make it seem like someone else is asking. No one else has that opinion on Moulin Rouge but you. Like, motherfucker, we've had this argument before. If it's such a unique point, I'm gonna notice it's you when you try to change your voice. Hey, fucking queers. But yeah, no, so, yeah, a lot of people don't like Chicago, but that's what it is. The one that people like more than Chicago is the Holocaust one, so watch that one instead. Like, watch the Holocaust Museum with Liza Minnelli. Yeah, you know, this is a thing, is what I'm trying to, like, get across, like, this is also a thing, and people like that thing, and the things that you directly do not like about it, it's fair, you don't have to like those things, but I'm just telling you, they are genre conventions of the thing you do not like. Like, it's cool, but it's also, I think we should all just take a step back and admit that, holy fucking shit, they made a Golden Age musical about Joker. They made a Hollywood Golden Age movie about Joker that's a subversion of Hollywood Golden Age musicals. Like, how has no one pointed that out? Like, that's not smart. That's not smart. That's really stupid. This is Rick and Morty, guys. It's not that intelligent. It's not that deep. It's just a cute little movie. It's a cute little musical, and we don't get a lot of musicals nowadays. And if you don't watch a lot of musicals, you don't get to come in here and say, this isn't what musicals do, because actually the stuff you watch isn't really what musicals normally do. But none of us kick shit about, well, I very much bitched about La La Land a ton. Yeah, I definitely think that dude who made it, like, there's some weird race shit with him. Like, he's got some weird opinions on black people, I bet. Like, dude is 100% an extra in Get Out, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah.
Oh, I want to try and share what I think could have been a better movie. Again, a sequel was not needed, but here we are.
Holy shit, I would 100% watch the guy who made La La Land do a jazz musical recreation of Get Out. Please, I need that in my life. I need that in my life. I can have all the opinions I had when I was 16 about how it's kind of weird that Jordan Peele had a white woman be one of the big bads in his movie, even though he's married to a white woman. I was really woke, you see. I'm a super woke libtard who, you know, as a 16-year-old really understood race and interracial marriages and everything that comes with that when I, you know, had recently well, no, I think we were still dating at that time, but yeah, you know, I knew all the stuff about love and what you could and couldn't say. So I was kind of, you know, I was pretty mature for my age when I was pointing out how it was rude that Jordan Peele did a hotep and Get Out on his wife. Jordan Peele did emotional black on white violence to his wife, you guys.
Watched Arthur transform into Joker. It was a process and it felt inevitable. Whether he killed himself or not at the end, what he did still happened and shaped him. You can't forget that. Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, whoever, hated what they created. They wanted to backtrack for whatever reason. Fine, let's stick with this premise.
Why does everybody think it's a backtrack? Everybody's like, oh my god, they wanted to shit on the stuff they made. Also, it's they spent too much time rehashing the first one. Maybe if people are doing something that doesn't make sense, it's because they're not doing what you think they're doing. Like, that's not even really a judgment. That's just like, it's kind of helpful for if you, as you said, go outside and talk to people. Like, sometimes if what people are doing doesn't make sense, maybe it's because you don't know what they're doing.
And let's assume they were taking this very
Oh,
seriously.
by the way,
and
she's going to
still
rewrite
passionate
Joker
about
2 in
it.
5
Didn't see
minutes.
this as a joke. And I know not everyone
4
agrees
minutes.
with this, but if you're gonna go this route and undo Joker as a statement, then why not make it more fascinating? Instead of having a hissy fit and really
Okay, so here she's going to go on a point that I kind of like alluded to an hour ago or something. But yeah, so like she wants everything to be wrapped up in a nice bow. That's what she thinks was bad about Joker 2. Joker 2 is bad because Arthur Fleck didn't learn his lesson. Joker 2 is a meanie because Arthur Fleck died. Bleh. Arthur Fleck died on a joke. That's not okay. I'm not okay with this. I'm the adult in the room. I really know what's going on. I'm the big boy who understands the movie and what's happening. And because I'm so big and old and adult, I understand that this movie is bad because it made me sad. So Arthur Fleck doesn't learn his lesson in Joker 2. Is true. Arthur Fleck learns a lot of lessons. Arthur Fleck overcomes some of his delusions. Arthur Fleck is still trapped in a lot of his delusions. Arthur Fleck, at the beginning of Joker 2, has, in some ways, overcome his delusions more than Arthur Fleck at the end of Joker 2. Arthur Fleck at the end of Joker 2, apart from getting stabbed to death, is a healthier character than Arthur Fleck at the beginning of Joker 2. Sometimes delusions are good. I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the truth is always best. Write the truth in the comment section. Write the truth in the comments. Write a PhD statement on epistemology in the comment section. So here's the thing. Sometimes YouTubers will do a thing where they like they have like a code word late in the video to make sure people watch all the way through to read their comments and everything. If your comment is not a PhD dissertation on epistemology and the way it relates to Joker 2 and the musical, I'm not reading your comment. Like, yeah. Everybody post your PhD statements on epistemology, your PhD dissertations on epistemology inside of the comment section. And the best one I'm going to pin, but every time somebody writes a better one, I'm going to pin that, and that becomes the epistemological truth I'm going to live my life by. Go to my Patreon and pay me money to define my epistemological worldview. Do the truth, everybody. Do the truth. Be good and do good things. That's my advice to everybody as a 40-year-old man, to all the 25-year-old virgins in chat. Do truth, do good, and don't be bad. Do the right thing, kid. Just do the right thing. It's not that hard. How much would you guys pay me to make an OnlyFans? But yeah, do truth and be good and learn lesson. Do these things and you will have good life. That's how you have good life. You do truth and you do good. And good, by the way, is whatever I say is good, because everybody has a different definition of good. And so good is whatever we mutually agree upon, and I hope that we're not mutually agreeing upon different things, because that'd be a real oopsie. But yeah, so do good and learn lesson, and do the right thing. Just do it. It's not hard. Just learn right lesson. But Arthur Fleck learns a lot of lessons throughout the movie, and Arthur Fleck actually, like, I might need to rewatch the end because he's a little bit, but I would say by the end he's even in some ways overcome Harley Quinn. Arthur Fleck at the end of the movie is he really did a whole he did a Joseph Campbell, he did the Nazi thing and went in the circle and learned a lesson. And he's the master of both worlds in certain ways through his delusion and through living through the rejection of Harley Quinn, but also through saving her and leading her to. They both needed time on their own. They both needed to grow as individual people if they were ever going to be able to have a union that would actually be mutually satisfying and something where they could perhaps stumble upon a mutually agreed truth. And then a psychopath told him a joke and stabbed him. And that released the Joker to be anybody's. Arthur Fleck at the end rejects the Joker. Arthur Fleck, when he's in the courtroom, decides that Arthur Fleck is in charge and the Joker was a tool through which he got attention. And here's the thing about attention. We literally need it to survive. Try not paying attention to a baby. If they make it to 25, they're not going to be much fun to be around. Spoiler alert. I've actually got two friends who just gave birth to twins. It's not two sets of twins. They fucked and had twins. I'm friends with both of them. You can be twins with a boy and a girl. Fun story. And you can fuck neither of them. They can fuck each other, and you just can still be friends. That's a thing that can happen. Yeah. But yeah, so they've got twins, so I'm going to kidnap one of their twins and gonna keep them in a basement, and I'm gonna feed them and everything they need. Like, they're gonna be perfectly taken care of. I'm just never gonna acknowledge their existence. It's gonna be a little John Money experiment for my John Money fans in chat, in the comments on YouTube, in the FBI. I'm not sure, but yeah. But yeah, for all the John Money heads out there, Joker 2, FOOLYDEUXLY.
Jamming in insults to viewers and on Arthur, you could have written a film where Arthur actually deals with the consequences of his actions.
Hypers in chat if you've actually dealt with consequences before, because sometimes it gets weird. I've had times where the consequences to my actions have been exactly what I felt they should have been. I've had times where the consequences of my action have been harsher than I felt like they should have been, but then eventually I understand why they were that harsh. I've had times where it's the opposite, where where at the time I was like, yes, this is how you should be treating me. And then later in life I was like, oh, they should not have been treating me like that. Consequences... I've had consequences to actions I haven't taken. Consequences are just the thing that happens after something else happens. Sometimes they're satisfying. Oh, and there's a little thing on screen right now. Giving him more agency. You know, for me, the best part of Joker 1 was when he got all the agency, and then he did the good things and he learned the right lessons. And, because I like movies that are about good guys doing good things, and that's why I like the Joker 1, because he learned the right lesson and it made me feel happy and safe. And yeah, and we all have agency in life. We all know that when we're a small child getting raped, or if we're a young man who just had twins and is living in Palestine in current year 2024. we all have agency in what happens in our life and complete control over the things going on. Like if we're a white man with really good grades, and we got passed up for the slot in college we liked because of a filthy minority who's actually dumber than me and not as good as me and doesn't deserve my slot. We all have complete control over the things that happen in our lives. And it's totally not our reaction to the things that happened into our lives that defines us. It is the things that happen to us. There's a book called Voltaire's Bastards. No, it's there's a book called Man's Search for Meaning that's all about how you have complete control over everything that happens to you, but have no control over how you respond to it. And so we should only focus on the things that happen to us, and not at all on the way we react to them. And that's how we know what kind of people we are. So you should read a book or listen to an audiobook. That can be a lot easier. Audiobooks are good. There's a lot free on YouTube, and they're easy to pirate.
Imagine what could have been, the conversations, the internal struggle within himself.
Imagine what could have been if you pirated a movie you always wanted to watch instead of watching 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 56 seconds of this. Pirating. It's good for you. Do it on your mom's computer.
Arthur in prison or an asylum wrestling with this, always going back and forth regarding what he's done. We see him talking to a psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah. He should have been tortured about it. He should have been really sad and felt really bad about all the things he did. Like the start of the movie. Where he's really tortured and sad. It's almost like the plot of the movie is him deciding, should he just literally become the Joker and feel good about all the bad stuff he did? Or should he recognize that he's Arthur Fleck and take accountability for his actions and recognize them as, yes, responses to an unfair system around him, but also things that he did have control over? Holy shit, did anybody else but me watch the movie? Am I the only one who watched the movie? Go see Transformers 1 or whatever that new one is called, because CJ the X really liked it.
Lawyers, etc. Does he even want help at this point? Hear me out. I know it's a crazy idea, but maybe, just maybe, you write a good movie. Maybe you still tell the story of...
Just write a good movie, guys! Todd, just write a good movie! Todd, it's easy. You just write a good movie. Just write a movie that I like. Write me a movie. Write my movie. Todd, I've got the script right here. Can you write my movie? Todd, why did you get to write your movie? Why didn't you write my Joker fanfic? My Joker fanfic is so much better than Joker FOOLYDEUXLY. Make your own movie. Dude, this was cheap. I mean, like, it's not cheap as shit. But it'd be really cheap to put on a community theater version of this. It's not hard. Write a script, find a few people, have people donate to your Patreon enough to the point where you can, like, buy out a theater for a single night. Have it be really stripped down. You're not doing much, but just write up a script for what you actually want to do. Make the thing. Make it. I like the criticism. Don't get me... Well, I hate your criticism a lot. Like, I fucking... I think I'm gonna post this to YouTube because I hate your criticism so much. You're a shit critic when it comes to Joker 2. But you're clearly creative like me. I really like stuff like this. I left a like. Like number 9. Ooh, that's a good movie. No, not that one. Maybe? Is it just 9? I like that with the little puppet guys, but it's 3. Please, women, please, some lady in the comment, please explain to me how 3D animation works. Read it like an audiobook. I'll put an email in the description. You don't have to donate. That's enough. Joker 2.
No, you guys got it all wrong. He's not to be worshipped or loved. He's just a man. A very sick, flawed man, but in a more intriguing way. He could still make friends and enemies. He could cause chaos within the prison, which...
So, this is an interesting movie you're describing, MisanGlorpe. And, I'm not gonna lie, it might be because you had the images of it on screen, but your whole point's about get into trouble and cause drama and do things in prison and be mischievous. That's the plot of Joker Folie-à-Deux. That's the plot of the movie you didn't like. Like, they did the thing. They just didn't do the thing in the way that you liked.
Which may trickle outside, he delves into his Joker persona as that admiration becomes stronger. But for what purpose? He spends his time in prison, observing the pandemonium he is causing. It seems to be getting out of control, out of his control. How are these...
You know, when you're making this hypothetical movie, a really good way that you could show the idea that things are really getting out of control in the personalities he's taking would be if, like, maybe, like, right at the climax of the movie, he has the choice to lean further into the Joker persona, but then he chooses instead to be Arthur Fleck, and he admits that, and it makes Harley and all of his fans leave him, and then he's convicted of all of the things, and he's gonna get electrocuted, and he's laughing about that, and he's recognizing that this has like taken on a life so much further than him. He's stuck in the system, but he is Arthur Fleck. He is taking control. No, it's not that this has gone so much further than him. The system is finally working. He's doing the thing. He took responsibility for his actions. He is paying the consequence for what's happened around him. He's not letting Joker take the consequence. He, Arthur Fleck, is. And then what if some people blew up the courthouse that he was in as he was about to get like fully committed and he's doing his like crazy Joker laugh? And then he like stumbles outside, and then a person like who's actually wearing the Joker makeup, like in a way that he isn't really, like maybe he's like covered in ash, almost like the way Heath Ledger is, looking really like out of 9/11 and whatnot. I forgot what 9/11 was called for a second. But yeah, like he could stumble out there, and then this guy could be like, oh my god, you're a Joker, and he could be doing stuff around him, and he's just like, he's got a head injury, and he's just walking, and then it's like, oh my god, Joker, and then this version of the Joker who both is wearing the face mask of the Joker from the movie The Joker, but he's kind of acting more just like a kid on the street would, but they're talking about murder and chaos in the same way that Joker from the movie The Dark Knight would. And one of them even has on a clown mask, kind of like in the movie the Batman The Dark Knight, because there's the Joker in that movie, and he robs a bank with a bunch of people in clown masks to do chaos and crime. And you could do all that, and then our character Arthur Fleck, he could choose to leave the car right after they flip off a bunch of ambulance drivers for no reason, and then they could so he could stumble away, and they could try to chase him, but then the literal police could come out of nowhere, and they could the people who look more like the Joker could run in to the police, and Arthur's just looking like Arthur Fleck as he finally like comes on the stairs that were like his big moment from the first movie, and he sees Harley Quinn there, and he goes up and he's like, oh my god, this is our fantasy, we can escape. And then she can be like, no, I'm in love with the Joker, not Arthur Fleck, and the fantasy that we was doing was like integral to this, and you ruptured it, and we were never going to have anything more than like the revolution, but you don't want that, you actually want me, and so I'm going to go now. And he can be like, oh, and he can get real sad, and then the cops can show up, and he can get arrested, then he can go back to prison, and then some time can have passed, and he's kind of like seeming in a better place, still kind of more like he was at the beginning of the movie, but more self-possessed and stuff, and then someone else could come up to him, they could be like, hey, can I tell you a joke? And he can be like, yeah, I don't got a lot of time. He's like, okay, I'll tell it quick. And then he can start telling a really bad joke and then lead into a punchline from Joker, the movie The Joker, where the Joker shoots a guy and says, you get what you deserve, bang, bang, bang. And who was that old dude, by the way? Kind of looked familiar. I'm sure he's nobody. Yeah. So you could do all that and then have Arthur Fleck bleeding out on the ground as one of the title tracks from the movie about how, like, sometimes things are good and sometimes they're bad, and it can just, like, change out of nowhere, comes on as he lies bleeding, and then the guy who was like, I'm a psychopath, stab, he can, like, cut smiley scars into his face and become the psychopath that you're, like, it's, like, you're talking about the movie that you said you didn't like. you watched the movie. That's where you came up with all these ideas. That's what happened in the movie you watched.
These people connecting to him. Does he know? Do they really care about him? How does he feel what others may be doing on his behalf or being inspired to do? Is that what
Oh my god, that's not something that was literally the debate between Harley Quinn and his, like, fucking defense attorney.
he ever wanted? He thinks to himself, what was it again? What was it?
Oh my god, him thinking about, like, was that ever really wanted? That's not what happened in the scene where he clearly gets choked up when he's, like, being the clown to Puddles, but then Puddles, like, tries to have an actual human moment with him and calls him Arthur, tries to talk through the character. Like, you're talking about the movie.
That I really wanted in my life? He can try to speak and lecture and control his audience, but it falls on deaf ears. It's gone too
That's the closing statements.
far. So again, how does it really make him feel? He's never felt so alone. He has to sit there isolated once again in his life. He must think about everything he's done. He sits in the courtroom and sees the pain.
By the way, the whole time she's actually showing footage from Joker and Joker 2, the movie The Joker. Like, how did she not see these moments when she was editing this? Did she not watch the movie? Like, I didn't watch a lot of these movies, but I'm like I'm lying about some of it, but it's fun to lie to you guys. You're cute. Aw, you should comment about, I don't know, how's your day? What are you up to? Comment down below and give me money. How are you? Joker.
And suffering he's caused. It's all slowly maddening him. Gradually, he has these conversations with himself. Maybe others really breaking down.
You mean like maybe scenes where it gets really dark and he dances and it shows his feelings, or maybe like a scene where like all of a sudden Harley Quinn murders him and shoots him when they're having like a cute 70s couple shot. Like, did you not watch the movie?
What he did. Why? What was it for? I didn't plan on
Was this movie too smart for you, MisanGlorpe? You don't seem like a dumbass. It's not a smart movie.
bringing up American History X again, but I just happen to think about this quote as a good way.
I don't want to have to bring up American History X again, but by the way, if somebody ever says that to you at a bar, watch your drink, ladies. Don't ask him about Palestine. If they're a woman, do not bring up Andrew Tate. Or Candace Owens. Especially if they're a black woman and they say that, do not bring up Candace Owens. Holy shit, you will be there all night. You are not going to get laid. Divestors wanted. Divestors wanted.
Way of thinking how this movie could have gone.
Yeah, watch FD Signify.
Has anything you've done made your life better?
I see it as a blueprint for conversations that could have been had here. Maybe this was for nothing. He had problems
You know, I'm something of a hotep myself.
and still does. He snapped, and as a result, he got a following of people that he didn't particularly ask for nor wanted. That wasn't his goal. It just happened. He never really believed in anything. Maybe at the time he loved the attention. He loved to be seen and his grievances heard. But after 2+ years locked
Well, by the way, if you haven't seen Joker 2 and you don't want spoilers, you probably shouldn't watch this.
away, what did it accomplish? Who benefited? What change can he make? What change did he make? Yes, it becomes very nihilistic. However, this is a route Phillips and Phoenix could have gone. And in a way, it did.
I didn't mean to pause there. I was going to say something else. In a way, it did go there. Yeah, no, I mean, strictly speaking, she's not wrong. MisanGlorpe is not wrong. Cupid, by the way, MisanGlorpe, real cute way to say you hate people. I mean, other than saying that you're a female fan of Joker. I mean, I'd never actually say this about myself, but some people have said I'm a little bit like Harley Quinn. No. MisanGlorpe, what can I say? I'm just MisanGlorpe. You know, they kind of say like, people come up to me all the time. They're like, MisanGlorpe, oh my God. Like, you're almost like, what if Harley Quinn was like a millennial? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Like, or like what if Harley Quinn was like a millennial who like grew up on Tumblr? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be such a fun idea for a fucking, for like, I actually wrote, funny thing, was not weird, but I wrote a fanfic about what if you being me, MisanGlorpe, by the way, what if you were like a Tumblr Harley Quinn, and it's like, it's kind of killer, it's almost like, I don't know, like, it's not as like Gen Z, but it's kind of like a cross between thoroughbreds and natural born killers. How'd I do? Any good? Comment MisanGlorpe. Comment below if I did how close I got. The more like if you're watching this, the more it was like ooh, like the more I need like you to comment it.
Anyway, he ends up dead. It was all for nothing, and nothing changed. And by the way, this is not.
I'm gonna have that on my headstone. Anywho, he ended up dead. Wait, what was it?
Anyway, he ends up dead. It was all for nothing, and nothing changed. And by.
I'm gonna get that on my headstone. Holy shit. Okay, wait. So there's another little note. Not fully a redemption/forgiveness story, as in feel sorry for me. I should be forgiven. I'm good now, etc. He's bad, you guys. Member. Not fully a redemption/forgiveness story, as in, feel sorry for me, I should be forgiven, I'm good now, etc. He's bad, you guys. Member? There's no apostrophe. Member? You can't go on liking Arthur or Joker. Oh my God, she didn't. Guys. Everybody, ladies, gentlemen, everybody. She put a tone indicator. So, that does mean sarcastic, right? So, is it only you can't go on liking Joker or Arthur that is sarcastic? Is it the whole thing that's sarcastic? Okay, what I think it is, I'm gonna break down it for you guys. So I think this is one clause. It's talking through, and then this is a separate clause. I would have MisanGlorpe in the future. I would put apostrophe. No, sorry, not apostrophes. The semicolon. No, whatever that parentheses. Put parentheses around the he's bad guys member. You can't go on liking Arthur Joker S. Like put so after the S you put a parentheses, and before the H in he's you put a parentheses. So it's clearly a separate thought, because otherwise it makes it seem like the whole thing could be. You're really bad with tone indicators for someone who grew up on Tumblr. Like, isn't that like your guys' one thing?
By the way, this is not a story of redemption. It is of a man coming to terms with his actions and trying to take responsibility, however possible. If you still want him to be
Wait.
Terms with his actions and trying to take responsibility. By the way, this is not a story of redemption. It is of a man coming to terms with his actions and trying to take responsibility, however possible. If you still.
Should I look up Oxford English specifically? There's a 2013 film called Redemption? Huh. Looking up Oxford. The act of saving or state of being saved from a power of evil. Okay, so that's not quite. Let's go Webster's. Recovery of what is promised, the redemption of... Okay, that's topical Bible. I asked for Merriam-Webster. But okay, here we are gonna check out Topical Bible's definition: the recovery of what is promised.
It is of a man coming to terms with his actions and trying to take responsibility, however possible. If you still want him to be killed by that guy,
So maybe it's not a redemption story, but it is a path of redemption story. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so Webster's defines. Okay, so give me redeeming. Serving to offset or compensate for a defect.
at the end, fine, a consequence of his actions, however possible. If you still want him to be killed by that guy at the end, fine, a consequence of his actions.
Kind of a consequence of his actions, but like, quite frankly, with everything Arthur does across those two movies, like, it would be both fair for someone to come up and stab him in the manner. It would be both unfair. I don't know, like, the fact that it was a fan, I think, is easily the least, like, who there's actually getting closure. Like, if it was, like, if it had been the victim, if it had been, like, the family member of one of his victims, or if it had been Puddles, or if it had been Vanessa, whatever her name is, like, all of those would have been things where you can say that this is like, oh, there is obvious harm that he inflicted on these people, and so consequence of his act. But, like, for it to be a fan is clearly saying something. This is not something that, like we are not supposed to see this as closure. It's not closure. It's not closure for anybody other than some creep who's been fucking Joker the entire, fucking Arthur Fleck the entire movie. Like, he's a goddamn, he is the audience in most of the real ways. He's this fucking lady. She's literally becoming the Joker.
There. And you know what? You could still have a Harley in there manipulating Arthur, while Arthur is fighting within himself, feeling like he's losing control. Harley is
Oh my god, it's like what actually happened in the fucking movie.
in his ear, condoning and justifying his past, trying to keep him who she wants him to be. It's a battle of taking responsibility.
You guys, I wrote a really good Joker revision script. It's called Joker FOOLYDEUXLY, and I copied the entire script of Joker FOOLYDEUXLY, and I just said it in my own words and said that it's actually better. Watch No Namesaurus. He can actually do this style of video. You're shit at it, and 5 minutes is way too short. Like, at most, this is an outline of an idea of what you did, and if you wrote out this outline into a movie musical homage to comic books, dark 1960s movie musicals, Gilbert and Sullivan, and the like stuff that like makes up the 1940s Hollywood. Like, if Todd Phillips made the movie you were outlining, he'd make the same movie. And Toker.
Or continuing down a destructive path. So it could kind of be like what they were trying to do in this movie, but better. I don't know, a more intellectual, deeper approach, a more sophisticated fuck you, I guess. Wow, imagine making a movie, a character study, if you will.
A character study.
About a man dealing with his actions. Not impossible. We can't explore anything like that in a
Study.
But imagine making a movie, a deeper approach, a more sophisticated fuck you, I guess. Wow, imagine making a movie, a character study, if you will.
A character study.
About a man.
Okay, I get the miscommunication here. Okay, so basically, MisanGlorpe wanted Joker FOOLYDEUXLY to be more the Joker. She thinks that the best fuck you that could have been given to the fans would be to do the same the same movie that Todd Phillips made, but in the style of Martin Scorsese again. But then like really show, she wanted this to be the Wolf of Wall Street to to the Joker's Taxi Driver. funny thing about fans of The Wolf of Wall Street, they're the same people who make fucking TikTok compilations about what a badass Patrick Bateman is and how River Phoenix's The Joker is so cool and based and hip and really wiling out on the freestyle there, Daddy-O. You know, like, you assuming, and I don't think this is the case. I think that he just made the movie he wanted to make. But assuming that Joker 2 was not, that Todd Phillips did not make a movie for him, that Todd Phillips made a movie to pull his wiener out and piss on the faces of all the proletariat, the MAGA proletariat that loves Joker. Look at my fucking cat. But yeah, so if he really wanted to piss those people off, do you know what he would do? He would have made the gay nerd movie he made. He would have made the gay theater nerd movie that he did make. The movie that you would have wanted him to make would have been what all the people that you think that he was trying to piss off would have wanted. Maybe he really thought that he delivered the wrong message with Joker 1. Maybe he, agrees with the message he delivered in Joker 1, but he thinks that it went out to all the wrong people. If he really wanted to fuck with those people, he would have made them pay $10 to go see his gay-ass theater nerd shit. So, why would he have made the movie they would have wanted him to make? You're not making any sense. You are a confused lady who doesn't
And dealing with his actions. Not impossible. We can't explore anything like that in a meaningful and productive way. Do a messy, immature screw you. I guess we needed to see a character we liked, loved, or loved to hate, literally beaten down, raped.
Yeah, do you know what's not messy? Being a fucking cinephile who can only recognize Scorsese references. That's real mature. Not having your tastes have grown past 8th grade, dude. Like, holy shit. What is this, 2013?
Mocked, degraded, made a fool, broken, crushed, and humiliated. The hatred in this movie is so strong. There really could have been a mature way.
Okay, I got a joke. What's the best way to make fucking the misogynistic fans of Joker like Joker 2? To be a white dude, to be a cis-passing, straight-passing white dude bullying a fucking 100 subscriber fucking lady pick me who's trying to be like, ugh, I just understand Joker. Like, this is bait. Like, I mean, you might not have intended it to be bait, but like, if I wanted to make like a right-wing turn and like get all the Andrew Tate people, I could make this like 20 times meaner and really target it at them and get all the incels to fucking love me. And I could like pass myself off as an incel. I could totally go like, yeah, I've never had sex before. Like, oh yeah, no. And I could even like fake it. Like I could be like, well, I hadn't had sex until I started to like red pill myself. And that's when the bitches started to come into me. What you gotta do is you gotta neg them. Like it'd be so like I'm saying, MisanGlorpe, I've been giving you a hard time. If you're still here, I really appreciate you. This is a mental breakdown that I'm just filming because I've always wanted to film myself. I do not agree with your views and the things that you put forward about Joker 2. But if it was not for you, I would have never recorded myself. And I've always wanted to do this. And I've always wanted to post to YouTube. And I've not had the courage or the time or the thoughtfulness or, I get so worried about what I would be making that I just don't make anything at all. And so thank you for making what I think is something that sucks so that I could make something that, it's not clean. It's going to be pretty messy and all over the place, and I doubt anybody's going to watch it. But I've never made something I really wanted to make before. You gave me the courage to do that, and I really appreciate that. If you're ever in Detroit, let me know. I'll show you some of the good coffee shops, and if you really like gay bars, show you some of those. If you're into women, I've got a bunch of women who are into women who I can introduce you to. It's a good way to make community. That was weird. Sorry about that, but serious. You know, we could go bowling. Bowling's fun. I could, if you got a good sense of humor, I could tell you why your videos are shit in a way that's way more digestible and might actually be useful for making stuff that I think would be more you. You've got a clear sense of style. You've got stuff that you are interested in. I really like your editing. Your editing is really good, especially for something that is majorly just you chatting about random stuff. You've got a clear gift for that. I really like the crossfade effect that you use like pretty frequently, and it's nice because they're good images to look at over periods of time, but they also don't overtake your attention. That's something that I noticed, like a lot of that brain rot content is very bad at actually executing on. So I really appreciate that. I think if you cared about the thing more, you could do a really good what you would have done. I don't think you care about this enough, or at least with the restrictions that you gave yourself for remaking Joker 2. I don't think that's where your heart is at, and so you ended up just copying Todd Phillips' homework. But I think if you gave yourself less restrictive rules, I think that I would really actually like to see what your version of Joker 2 would be. I really like videos like that go into great detail on how they would have made it. No Namesaurus can be a bit of a chud, but he's got some really good stuff on that where he like goes over things. I really like that style of video. And I think your editing style is really good for that style of video because it grounds you. I think that if you pushed it even harder, you'd be good at like creating subtle emotions with the footage that you choose to put up there. That would be very effective at giving you kind of like a emotional canvas to put your ideas for a new version on. I think you could be really good at that, and I think you'd get more viewers from that because it would be more shit you care about rather than just chasing what the high is right now. DJ Peach Cobbler is a video essayist I really enjoy, and his whole thing is that, like, you know, I mean, it's good to pick up on trends sometimes, and you got to do that, but if you do that for too long, you become entirely beholden to those trends, and you can't make the shit you actually want to make. I think that's how we end up with people like Synthetic Man. And I don't want anybody to be like Synthetic Man. So make something you actually care about. You can't get less views. Joker 2.
Of dismantling the first Joker movie. And again, I'm not agreeing with this, but I'm just saying if the goal was to break down Joker as a whole and it be a message to the fans or the studios, this could be a way to do it. It's more annoying than anything. Wasted potential. It just seems childish. This could have been a well thought out lesson. You know, you can insult.
The childish thing, I would love to hear more. I would like if you feel like doing a Joker 2 video essay in response, I would love to get a response video. And I would love to hear more on the childish specifically, because I agree that there's a lot of childishness throughout the entire film, but I feel like that was kind of, I mean, I feel like this is Joker's first romance. Like it's a kid having a kindergarten crush, you know, like, I don't know. I would love to hear more about like the childishness, because I feel like you seem to take a lot of this very personally. So I wonder if you could step back and analyze the film through the lens of childishness, and maybe come to I don't know, if you ever want to do a combo video, we can do a podcast. Where no, you're not leaving me. You're never leaving me. This is how I abuse him. But if you ever want to do a podcast, we can do a podcast on the childishness of Joker 2, where we get a Joker 2 fan and a Joker 1 fan, and we can knife fight.
Someone without explicitly saying it, right? Now I know maybe you're thinking, I'm thinking about it too much, and it's not that serious. I know.
Maybe you're thinking about it too much, but if you are, it's like, it's the way that a rat thinks too much about a button that dispenses their food but is on a random like number like you have to press it a random number of times each time to get the pellet out. That's the way you're overthinking it. You're not, you're looking at it as something that should give you what you want every time. You're not looking at it for what it is. And if you stopped being so fucking entitled, you could think about it in ways that would actually be interesting and helpful and good critique. But because I think you were a really big fan of the first one, and I think you are a little butthurt about the way that a lot of people responded to the first one. And I think you're kind of getting off on your nerd rage with the fact that everybody agrees with you about this one. And, yeah, that's my theory about that. And I think if you stopped doing that, you could think about the movie in a way that wouldn't annoy you so much. Because you wouldn't be coming into the movie expecting to be annoyed by it.
It really is not that serious. And I'm not intending it to be. It's just something that came into my mind, and I figured I'd share how this could have gone, given the situation and what the writers wanted to accomplish. Believe me, you can always throw in some silly moments, be lighthearted, bring some levity, but at the very...
You mean like Joker killing the judge with a giant mallet during his motherfucking... Like, it's a silly movie, man. It's comic book characters. I'm a huge fan of comics. I grew up reading comics. Not as much of a Batman guy, in fairness, but I've read plenty of Batman. I like him a lot. I grew up on the cartoons. It's some silly shit. It's okay, and it's cool. I like that we can make it darker, but the reason that you love Batman is not because of the darkness. I'm telling you that because there's way darker shit out there. If you really wanted some dark shit, go read some like good ass pulp novels, or if you want comics, fucking read the TV show's way better, but read Preacher. Yeah, Preacher is way darker than this shit. This shit is for kids. It's Batman. You can do dark things with it, but like the darkest that fucking somebody's been able to go is goddamn Frank Miller's fucking Fascist Manifesto. And that's what kind of happens if you go too dark with kids shit. If you go too dark with kids shit, you get so bogged down on the fact that no one's taking you seriously that you have to go all the goddamn way, and you're only going to be able to get like the real good communist stuff that deals with this stuff. That's why I'm like separating it, because you can have dark stuff with communist themes, but if you want to take something that is inherently goofy and suck all the joy out of it, you're going to end up with something that is either outright fascist, appeals to fascist, or is unconsciously fascist. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't, meh. We're at 10:00 exactly.
very least, when it comes to a sequel, I'd just ask that it be in the spirit of the first.
Fuck you. It's not a sequel. It's not a sequel. It's not a sequel. What's the title of this movie? What's the title of the movie? I've been doing it too. It's fun to do. It's fun to do. Joker 2, Electric Boogaloo, all that. What's the title of the film? Is the title of the film Joker 2? It's not Joker 2. It's Joker FOOLYDEUXLY. It's its own fucking thing. Stop dead naming it. It's a different movie, man. You got your movie. Just enjoy your movie. Just stop cutting yourself. Like, win well. Everybody's shitting on mine. A lot of people liked yours. Fucking, why can't people learn how to win? You won. Y'all won. If you're gonna make some shit about my shit, please make it good. Like, people already hate it. I'm lucky that I, like, know that people are stupid, and I'm finally at a place where I can recognize my own tastes enough that I can hear people saying stuff and be like, oh, I'm gonna like that. Like, but there's kids who aren't there yet, man. Like, there's gonna be people who like it, And this is going to be a fucking sleeper hit. This is not a sleeper hit now, but it's going to be a cult classic in a few years, but you're going to make it drag on longer, and you're going to leave annoying people in our fucking comment section. And I'm sorry for the level to which I did that to your stuff, but that's also kind of a consequence of winning. You won. You had a super successful movie that everybody super got into. And so you're going to get annoying think piece writers writing annoying fucking shit about your stuff. It's easier when you got a lot of people who can just turn around and say, fuck them. Like, you know, right now I am the sole defender of Joker 2. Me and Todd Phillips are out there. My dad's going to love it, but, like, I don't know if he's going to see it before it gets out of theaters. That's a bummer. He would really like it. And if people weren't as shitty about it, he would have gone and seen it. He would have heard enough reviews and heard, oh, yeah, that's me. I'm going and seeing it. And my little brother, he liked Joker 1. I don't think he would have liked it, but Joker 2 wouldn't have tormented him the way, like, a lot of films do. And especially since he liked Joker 1, it's a huge bummer because, I think he would have liked it. He's asexual, so, you know, he's not as into flamboyant gay-ass shit like straight sex as I am. But, I think he still would have liked it. And it wouldn't have been totally for him, but it would have been a really good bridge movie for me and him, because there's some stuff we all both really like, musicals and things along those lines. But he has a really hard time with narrative. And I was actually pretty happy that it's the same story as Joker 1, because he likes Joker 1, and he's undiagnosed autistic. So he needs a roadmap to go through something. He needs a safety blanket. He's got to feel comfortable when he's going through something like that, because he just assumes that he's going to get, he assumes that it's going to be super scary, bad stuff where the people are all bad and it hurts his feelings and it makes him feel bad. And that's fair enough. Like, I get that. Entertainment, like, I'm a masochist. I like that my entertainment hurts me, but it means you can't show a lot of people your movies. It means when you're like, oh, Mother, it's a movie called Mother. This will be a great movie to watch with my mom and my dad and my little brother. Like, they won't have a problem. Oh boy, Bong Joon-ho, you really fucked me on that one. I'm the guy who, after my pick at movie night, we all stand in the kitchen for 30 minutes saying nothing, drinking tea, and then eventually my mom goes, whoo. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I hadn't seen Parasite yet. I know it was gonna be hard, but I think it was good. And they're like, yeah, no, it was really good. We all watched that. Word to the wise. If your family ever tells you it was really good that you watched something, they hated it. They hated it. Okay, and Folie à Deux is something that it's fun enough that I can show a lot of my family. I could show it to my grandparents, and they would like it, because they go to movies a lot, and they really miss the old-fashioned musicals where stuff is fun, but they also have been forced to watch Batman shit for the past 20 years. And so they have enough of a familiarity with Batman that they can deal with it. They would have really liked that movie. And, yeah, I'm pissy. I'm pissy that it's going to take longer for this really good movie to come out. I'm pissy because I think this might mean the end of Todd Phillips's run, and I think he's going to make. I think his completion to the trilogy would have been something really fascinating. I think with both what we've been able to see for his ability to pander to nerds and his ability to create something that gay assholes like me fucking adore. This was an amazing theater kid thing. He did a good job, and I do personally think he made it for himself. But, I would not be surprised if he kind of hated Joker 1. I think he made Joker 1 as much for himself as he could. I think he recognized that Martin Scorsese is some gay theater nerd shit that the straights will be able to get along with. And so he made Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is never going to make his own superhero movie, so he made Martin Scorsese's superhero movie. And I'm sure it's solid, and I need to watch it. I'll check it out, I promise. But then he made Hamilton's. That hurts. That hurts to say. I don't want to say that. I like it. I really like it. It's a good fucking movie. It's not for everybody. But it's for a lot of people that Joker 1 is not for, is what I will say. And I think Joker 3, whatever they end up calling that, would have been if it doesn't get made, it would have been a really good synthesis. I think it would have been something really unique. And I earnestly think Joker Folie was made for the people who didn't see Joker 1. And that doesn't mean that the people who didn't see Joker 1 are going to like Joker Folie à Deux. But more of the people who were turned off by how masculine and boyish and like incel-y and just tired, quite frankly. Like, guys, come on. We've been doing that. Like, really? We're still on the Sigma shit? Like, oh my God. I don't know. We've been in this, like, post-feminism masculinity for, like, a long time. Can't we start making some bangers? Like, please? Men, do better. Like, we need more Harry Dubois, you know? You know, Harry Dubois does a lot of things, but he's interesting. Homer Simpson, I still really love him, but, like, I do get... And I don't get it for the original Homer Simpson, but... Oh, Peter Griffin, like, fuck, man, we get it. Men can be fat and disgusting and awful and get a bunch of things that they don't deserve. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm tired of it, quite frankly. Like, I'm a gay-ass little fucking straight boy. And, you know, obviously, I've watched all of Charlie Kaufman's movies. And I get it. He's not for everybody. It's okay. Like, I don't expect you to like Charlie Kaufman, but we're talking about some pretty good ideas over there. It's some fun stuff. It's some interesting stuff. It's some stuff that has made my sex better. It's stuff that, I don't know, it's made me connect better with people. It took a lot of work. And it's not perfect, and it's very dependent on my confidence, which I'm not satisfied with, because my confidence is something that is waning, waxing and waning, I mean. It comes and it goes. But I've been in a place where my confidence has just caused harm. And it's now at a place where it lets me pick up on signals and recognize things and go on dates and communicate in ways that I hadn't been able to communicate before. It's really opened up the world for me in a new way. And you're going to have to take your own path to get there, but you're going to need some of these ideas. And yeah, get your freak on, queen, I guess. Become a metrosexual. Wash your ass. Please. Like, please. I really want to start going to anime conventions again. I wanna feel like I can have sex with a virgin at an anime convention. Like, you know, because there's guys who need that, you know, but like, bro, when I'm discovering like entirely like novel forms of life inside of your back flaps, like, it's not that you're fat. It's not that you're balding. It's not that you can't talk to people. Because I really like it when you don't talk. This has been really hot. But it's not about any of those things. It's not. It's about the fact that you're refusing to grow. It's about the fact that you recognized that and didn't take step 2. And I'm really sorry to say it this way, because that's not very helpful. You've heard that before. But so people aren't trying to be cryptic about this thing. They're trying not to talk too much about themselves. 'Cause they know, well, there could be a lot of reasons. At least for me, it's that I know that I'm not that interesting, and that I'm most interesting when you are me. When I'm able to reflect back your interests, the things you care about, when I'm able to actually speak to you And when you're able to feel, when I'm able to be a voice inside your head, that's when I'm the most interesting. That's not everybody. That really is a me thing. Oy, look at you. Okay, so when they say neck beards, what they mean is that you don't have a defined neckline. Now, you don't need that's what's beautiful about the beard. You don't need to have a good facial shape to cut your own facial shape. And quite frankly, some really attractive people with beards don't take very good care of them. You don't even have to shower that much. I need to brush my teeth a lot more, but it's not a game ender or a game changer. You got to do enough of the boxes, and you have to get lucky. Some people just smell better than others, and it's not fair, and I'm really sorry if you don't. Like, that's not on you. It's not. Like, it's really not. It's your laugh from Joker, the movie The Joker. Have you seen that one? I get it. It's for girls. Like, you might not like it, but, yeah. There's little things you can do, and you don't have to do all of them. Because, when people talk about cleanliness and all these things, they are guidelines. It's an orthodoxy. It's something that a lot of people have tested and tried out, and it works for a lot of people. But there can be reasonable reasons it doesn't work for you. But on the other hand, if there's a place that's really clean, I'm going to pay more attention to when I dirty it. Does that make sense? Like, I'm going to litter less if I'm in a space where there's not as much litter on the ground and there's a lot of trash cans around. Those are two different forms of enforcement and persuasion. There's the positive persuasion, which is the fact that there is a place where I can throw my trash. And it's really positive if there's lots of trash cans around. The more trash cans, the less likely that trash can is to be super full. The more trash cans, the less likely the smell is to get really weird around that certain thing. Like, you're not just having all the gross smells gathered up together. The more trash cans, the less far I have to walk to get to a trash can. These are all positive forms of reinforcement that encourage me to behave in the way that the space wants me to behave. A negative form of reinforcement, and we're not saying negative as in, ooh, bad. We're saying negative as in absent. The negative form of that is the fact that there's no trash on the ground. There's lots of ways to accomplish that. Doing the positive thing, giving people places to put it, that's one form. Having people that come by very frequently to clean it up, that's another form. If I were to introduce police into this park, then that's another form. Suddenly, it's not just that you would be going against the grain to litter. You could get a punishment for littering. Now, the introduction of the cop turns that into a positive reinforcement. I know, right? Because cops are never positive. But that's one of the things I really like about this new crop of DC stuff. Some of the cops are like right bastards and everything, but like Matt Reeves is fucking Batman and the Penguin, like, it's Keystone Cop shit. Like, I'm happy we're bringing that back, man. Like, cops are goddamn pigs. They're idiots. You have to be scared of them when they're pointing a gun in your face, but you don't have to be scared of them if they're pointing a gun in your face and there are 100 people behind you still marching. I mean, be scared. It's scary. You may die. Joker from the movie The Joker could have died when they did that. But he had extra strength because there were so many people around him who would have become him the second he was shot. Oh, that's the real sad twist of Joker from the movie The Joker. And Joker from the movie Joker à FOOLYDEUXLY. He is, despite all his faults and flaws and off-putting energies, he's a creature of community. It's what I love about Arthur Fleck. It's what I respect about stalkers. Do not stalk people. Don't do it. It's not good. Don't do it. It's really not that hard. Takes up way too much of your energy. It's really dangerous for you. You could get in a lot of trouble. If they find out who you are, then they really won't like you. Don't stalk people. It's bad. It's not going to work out the way you want it to. Unless you do it right. No, but that's the problem with a lot of stalkers. They are empathetic people, but they're empathy babies. They've attached to one person, and they're suckling at it. And they need attention. And so they do whatever they need to get attention. And they get to a point where the negative attention becomes positive. And by negative and positive, we are not talking, we're talking good and bad in this moment. But, yeah, so that's the thing with stalkers. They're emotional babies. They've started down the path, and there might be very understandable reasons for why they went that way. And that's why men are more likely to stalk in person, but women are probably just as likely as men, if not more likely, to stalk online. I met this girl at this party, and I was just having a good time out back. I didn't even remember it was her at first, but there was something. I think she showed a picture. No, she heard my name was Dominic. She was like, "That's my nephew's name." I was like, he's got a pretty sexy name then. And I forgot all about it. And then I was talking with my friend on the dance floor, and this girl came up to me. She's like, "My friend likes you." I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? By the way, guess how old I was? Guess how old I was? I was in fucking sophomore year of college. No, wait, this was the end of freshman year. But she was a junior in college. My friend likes you. My friend likes you. Huh? My friend likes you. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Be a man and talk to her. What the fuck? Bro. I mean, okay, so this girl is really needy, right? And I get it if I'm her friend, right? I was just forced to fucking... And they were in a sorority, obviously. But my sorority sister just forced me to, relive goddamn middle school at a frat party. I wouldn't be nice to the guy either. Well, that's not normally how you get what you want. But they were both really hot. I was really lonely. And I didn't like myself. But I'm pretty cute. When I'm confident, I'm pretty hot. And I was supposed to just hook up with her. That's why I asked. It was genuinely, but she's grabbing my arm and pulling me there over. Be a man. Oh. Ladies, those are some magical words, though. You should know that. Results may vary. But you'll get a response. And he'll remember it. Or they'll remember it. Or she'll remember it. It's like your dad is back, like, standing over you when you're fucking 3 again. Even though you're the one way taller than this girl who's grabbed you by your sleeve and is pulling you over to her really pretty friend. I was supposed to hook up with her. That's what I was supposed to do, but I'm Christian. I didn't get it. We have a really nice conversation because I'm good at conversating. I am Prince fucking Charming. And if we had hooked up, I probably would have had a good time. Might even call her back. Maybe I'm giving myself not enough credit. I'm a people pleaser. But if we had fucked, neither one of us would have thought about it a lot. But I'm not a gigolo. I'm a hosta. I really got Warren High School Host Club. Made a lot of sense. I didn't watch the reboot. Comment down below if you watched the Oran Host Club High School reboot and if I should watch it. Comment down below if I should follow through on what Paige told me and actually watch goddamn Fruit Baskets. Paige, if you somehow found this, A, thank you for tuning into this, man. That's fucking awesome. B, how'd I do? I actually trust your opinion on these things and I'd really like to know. C, how the fuck did you find this shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? I hope you're good, man. We need to hang out more. Need to watch your derby more. Yeah. Joker 2. Did we finish the video? I want to smoke another cigarette. Turn on, turn on, turn on. I know, why is it not turning on? It's so rude, Boots. I know, you're actually angry that I'm making so much noise. I'm sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Joker 2 died. He got stabbed to death by, MisanGlorpe, and she was like, "You get what you fucking deserved," and stabbed it a bunch with facts and logic, and then said, "Hey, what if we did Joker 2, but I liked it?" And then she like smeared Joker's face, blood on her face, and was like, "I am the Joker!" Wah! And yeah. So don't watch her video. I told you what happened in her video. Yeah, I know. He's angry at me again. I'm moving too much. But yeah, don't watch her video. Watch mine. I'm the real facts and logic wizard, and through my rational emotions and hard fact deductions into the physiology of the subject, I've factually proven. I proved it, guys. I proved Joker 2 FOOLYDEUXLY is really good, and you're actually stupid for liking it. I did it. It only took 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 26 seconds. Can you guys hear the bells? They go off every hour and a half hour, but they stop probably around midnight, but probably earlier. It's hard to say for sure, but I like them a lot. So all this is to say, everybody who watches this should do the right thing, become a trad wife, and take your hubby to see Joker 2 FOOLYDEUXLY so that they can beat you for wasting your money. And then you guys can cuddle to an episode of Fast and the Furious. No, that's a movie. Sons of Anarchy.